What is super straight? It's a broad term or word that represents a new sexuality for all who are super straight, super gay, super lesbian. Its origin is from TikTok, where a 16-year-old made a meme about getting women that he was super straight. 4chan picked it up and turned it into a troll on Twitter to show the hypocrisy and hatred these accepting people really have. These accepting people, specifically trans activists, sent that teen's mother death threats until he took it down. Being super straight just means you're heterosexual, attracted to cis men or women. If you're super gay, you're a cis man attracted to cis men. I think you get the point. It's a new movement that is about cis individuals who are attracted to cis individuals. Some people are attracted to the physique of men, or a penis. Men have a penis. Some are attracted to both. Some women are attracted to other women, and only women. The physique of other women, the vagina. These are lesbians. Super Straight is a troll, done by 4chan to troll Twitter and these progressive types. That's all it really is. How did these progressive, pro-LGBTQ, valid acceptance, happiness react to a new sexuality? Did they embrace it with their warmth and love into their community? No, they didn't. They reacted with pure hatred, disgust, and treating others the same way they claim to be treated. Unacceptance, intolerant, bigoted, hatred. Superphobia, as the super straight community has deemed it, and rightfully so, can be seen here. Sending death threats, saying people should die. And mind you, this is because of their sexuality. They're telling others that they aren't valid and that they should die based on their sexuality. Imagine if you said this to someone who is gay or lesbian on Twitter. The shit fire it would start. I've seen people make jokes about how these people behave, and they will intentionally dogpile, and you report it, nothing happens. You'd be a literal homophobe, a bigot. These brainlets don't realize that this is a troll inciting them to do this, and it's gotten pretty successful. They've taken down a lot of these accounts that are telling people to die. These 4chan trolls have perfectly trolled these progressive people by acting exactly like they do. And when I say exactly, I mean it. Let's look at a few examples of LGBT pride and validity posts, and then we'll compare them to the super straight pride and validity posts. Accept LGBT, which Muslims as equals, who have right to express their love and be accepted. Shout out to my fellow LGBT plus VTubers. Love you tons. You are valid and beautiful. Sonic says trans rights. Oh, you're LGBT? That's valid. What? I may be a villain, but I still believe in LGBT rights. As I've accepted myself more and made friends with other LGBT plus people, it's gotten better, but fear of properly coming out is still there, and I don't know when or how to do it or say it. I'm still hiding a part of myself and don't know how to reveal it. Asexuals are valid and belong in the LGBT plus community. You are valid and belong with those in the community who support and accept asexuals. Not respecting hell, not accepting LGBT people is wrong. End of discussion. There is literally no valid reason why you cannot accept and support LGBT people and treat them the exact same as yourself. Today is hashtag National Coming Out Today. We want all LGBT people to know that whether you're out or not, your identity is valid and your feelings are important. Unlabeled LGBT are so cool. You all are amazing and cool and sexy / NSX. Not sexy, maybe? And your identity is super valid. Also, basic stuff you have to accept for Pride Month. Ace is LGBT. Non-binary is LGBT. Demi is LGBT. Bi is not transphobic. Pan is LGBT. All of these above are valid and loved. Trans rights are human rights. Now let's look at super straight pride and validity. Totally forgot about our copy and paste, so all supers are valid. Hashtag super lesbian, hashtag super gay, hashtag super bi, hashtag super straight. Never doubt that you are loved. In solidarity with hashtag super lesbian and hashtag super gay, you are valid. Abby says hashtag super straight rights. I feel so great today. Super straight Biden Stan says, good morning to my fellow members in the super straight community. Hope those bigots don't get to you. Hashtag super straight. Super straight pride parades being announced globally. We invite all communities to join us as we march with pride in our individual orientations. Proud of you for coming out as super straight. Hashtag pride, hashtag super straight. Why won't they validate us? Hashtag super straight. Me when I think about superphobes getting their teeth knocked out. If me being hashtag super gay bothers you, then by all means please block me. Because I'm loud and proud to be out, and there isn't a single person that could make me feel shame for it. Maybe learn not to be so insecure that you have to attack someone else's sexuality. Hashtag super straight. Here's a few from the official super straight accounts. Why is it scary that a marginalized community of super straight people finally have a voice? Are you a bigot? Unbelievable amounts of superphobia on Twitter. The super straight community are definitely the most persecuted group of people on earth today. Unacceptable. But we'll counter your hate with love. There's plenty plenty more. It can go on. But what I do want to mention is that Vosh actually made a post about being superphobic. And Superstraight India clapped back with, known pedophile against hashtag superstraight. I wonder why. Even the comebacks are spot on in parody. The progressive Twitter likes to commonly use the statements, imagine being transphobic or homophobic in, 2019, 2020, 2021. And the super community clapped back with, imagine being superphobic in 2021. Another example is the your transphobia is showing, which this has been used so many times. And so they responded with, your superphobia is showing. Oh my fucking god. They're actively showing hate. This just shows how they claim to be all progressive and accepting, and yet when it comes to a new term in sexuality that makes no sense, like plenty of the other ones, pansexual, asexual, they can't stand it. They don't want it. Superstraight essentially mimics the behavior of the progressive types, with the common statement of acceptance and validity. You know how those accounts are always tweeting or retweeting little reminders of acceptance, or the "you are valid" hourly reminder? Like, you can see this with the Hotbox's YouTube videos. He's always saying, "You are valid. You are valid. Remember that. You are valid." That is exactly what Superstraight is doing. Superstraight is a literal parody of how they behave, about validity, about acceptance, about a community, and, with the superphobia being a correlation to the homophobia and transphobia that they always throw around. It's about acceptance of sexuality, and here they are attacking them. Superstraight has even mocked and mimicked the whole "this character says gay rights or trans rights" memes that these idiots will make and then spam you with. They push that everyone against them hates them, that they're being invalidated by any and everyone who even has a healthy disagreement, that they're denying their existence, calling them any phobe and ism their genius brains can come up with if it's not bigot. You have these same people behaving like those they hate, telling people to die, that they're transphobic and wishing harm. The point they set out to make is how the progressive Twitter is really just projecting their own hatred for anything different onto others, and they proved it. This troll is honestly the funniest I've seen, because it's perfectly using their behaviors against them, their exact behaviors, and they responded by acting the very same way they don't like. It's a parody of how they behave to show how hateful and hypocritical they are. They don't like people being judgmental of their sexuality. Hell, they don't even like people disagreeing with them. You're homophobic or transphobic just for disagreeing with the claims they make, even if you have valid reasons as to why. While yes, 4chan trolls have taken this funny meme and tried to make it political, and pushed Nazi propaganda, and I mean literal Nazi propaganda, not what Commie Creeper considers Nazis. Any opinion he deems right-leaning. That is not what most people are doing this for. They're doing this to point out the hypocrisy and how Twitter culture behaves. Fun examples are like this tweet here. Bro, this hashtag superstraight shit is hilarious. They're starting to realize how fucking insane they sound when people start claiming there's 874 genders and people can just make shit up on the fly. What's wrong? Don't like playing with the same rules all of a sudden? From I'm superstraight _ deal with it. Hashtag superstraight. Superphobes are kinda dumb and hypocritical. You stand for equality but then start harassing people for being super straight. To all people who support hashtag superphobia, you practice exactly what you accuse hashtag superstraight of doing. Isn't that a bit hypocritical? Hashtag superphobia is rampant on Twitter. It just shows all the abuse hashtag superstraight people get and why it was created in the first place. Do better. Everyone is valid. Hashtag love is love. Everyone is special. Now what they're accusing superstraight of doing is transphobia. That's to be expected of these absolute geniuses. Honestly, this generation, they're going to lead us somewhere. They're going to lead us everywhere. The geniuses, absolute geniuses. The hardest generation there is so far. Absolutely the hardest one. Brightest of them all. Succeeding, definitely. Yeah, oh yeah. We're going places. And something I also want to point out that supports this, how that's hypocritical. If you just say, hey, I don't agree with you shipping these minor characters and forcing them to be gay so that you can fetishize it, you're homophobic. If you say, hey, I don't care about your whole pronoun crusade, statistically you're incorrect, and I personally don't participate in the ideology that you do, and that's fine, you're a transphobe. But when they say you should die, kill yourself, go buy a rope, all kinds of disgusting shit to these people that are having a good laugh out of how they behave, it's perfectly okay. It's superphobic, and it's a thing to celebrate. How they say others behave when most of the time it's not how others behave. It's just simple disagreements. And then they act that same way when something new comes along that they don't realize is mocking how they behave. It's a troll trend, and they're taking it so seriously that it reinforces the main point of this troll to begin with. It's beautiful. It's poetic. I support this not because of Nazis trying to invade it, but because it's an expert troll that literally lets these people mock themselves. You behave like them and they make fun of you for it. They're mocking themselves and how they behave. You just have to act like them and they'll be super phobic. This whole super straight thing is literally just how they behave. So they're essentially mocking how they behave, their whole culture, and everything. It's beautiful. They're basically staring into a mirror and saying these hateful things that they don't like said to them. And it pushes back against the whole forcing people to date people they aren't attracted to without being called some transphobe. Lesbians don't want a penis. Super straights, or men, which is just the raw state of heterosexuality, are not attracted to dick. If a man is straight, he doesn't want a dick. Gay men who are attracted to men are not attracted to vagina. They'll tell you that you have to date them, that you have to wax their balls. And I'm saying this regarding the Twitter side of things. At the end of the day, this is a troll that intended to make them look like clowns, which is not a hard task. It's set out with a not so high ambition, and delivered absolutely perfectly. Way more than I thought it would. Now there are genuine arguments being made. No, that's correct. I am hashtag super straight. I'm only attracted to people who are born the opposite sex. The trans movement is undermining my rights by shaming me into having sex with people with bodies I am not attracted to. Coercive sex is rape. That's why we have created hashtag super straight. If gender doesn't equal sex and heterosexuality is same-sex attraction, why are hashtag super straight people called bigots and transphobes for only wanting opposite sex lovers? We're being forced to accept opposite gender partners instead. And that's so true. You have these people that are saying, well, you don't have to date trans people. That's not what we're saying. But then they'll say that very same thing. You're transphobic if you don't want to date a woman, and I use that loosely. You're transphobic because you don't want to date someone that has a penis because you're not attracted to it. You're a transphobe. It's fucking ridiculous. Is super straight transphobic? For this to be transphobic, they'd actively have to be against them. Not dating someone based on sexual preference is perfectly fine. Not everyone is into dick, and not everyone is into vagina. You are not required to date anyone. The claim they make is that it's transphobic, and 90% of the time they provide zero argument as to how it is. For a moment, let's entertain the most common argument against the super straight community. They're transphobic because they date those based on genitals. Because super straight men don't want a penis between the legs of their woman. Again, using that term loosely. Because super lesbians don't want their women, loosely, to have a penis. Or because super gays don't want who they assume to be their male partner to have a vagina. Tell me, are you going to tell a lesbian that she has to date men? Are you going to tell someone who they can and can't date? Are you going to say that you have to date this person? Because that's no better than the homophobes that tell you that you have to be straight. Gay therapy, to get gay people to be straight. You're so against that, but here you are. You're so against gay therapy, and rightfully so. It dictates who they can and can't be with, who they should be with and who they shouldn't. It's forcing them to be something that they're not. But then here you are, you're trying to force people into dating you and saying they're transphobic if they don't want to date someone. The same argument can be applied to cis men who push for lesbian, claiming they too are lesbians. Not everyone wants to wax your balls, Yaniv. Now, at the end of the day, what's the takeaway? Twitter is a toxic cesspool that has such a low intelligence gap that they can't realize they're being trolled with their own behavior. And that super straight, super gays, super lesbians, and super bis are valid. Remember that. You're brave. Wear it like it's your own personality trait. If that's what you want, if they can do it, you can do it, right? Be who you are. Be who you want to be with. They can say you're not valid, but we can prove your attraction, unlike many of the claims they make. Why? Because what you jerk off or flick the bean to is what you're attracted to, and we can actually prove sexual attraction. So just know that you have my support. You are valid. My Discord is a safe place for the super community, and I will have designated roles for you, because why not? Shouldn't your healthy and perfectly okay sexuality be validated? Are we not to normalize all healthy sexualities?